I think that if you qualify off of points, you're not a threat. So I think if you qualify off of points, they're not really looking at you, right? And if you have a championship winning type of mentality, you don't go to lose, right? So I felt like my physique obviously wasn't where it needed to be if I had to qualify off of points. So I wasn't gonna go. But this is where a lot of other athletes frown upon and got on me about not appreciating the stage that I was on. They was like, yo, it's still the biggest, most prestigious stage in the world. Who cares how you qualify? You're going to the Olympia. Just pawning over things, just seeing people from all these different countries, right, mix to the reality, like this is big, you know what I mean? Like to see that you're competing against some of the best people in the world. You know, so I definitely appreciate the opportunity to be on that stage now more than I ever have.
What's up guys, Divine Wilson here, 1 week out from the Olympia. Today we're gonna train back, show you guys what I do. Close to the show, so I'm not going super heavy, just moderate weight, you know, trying to avoid any injuries. So let's get started.
I definitely think the passion shows. For example, like when I first started, I never worked on my routine. Training was a lifestyle for me, so training was easy. And I would show up, and you know, I never had a coach, all right? Until recently, I just started working with Management Underground. But before that, I did my own thing, and you always heard that your routine wasn't a deciding factor. It did not matter, right? So I literally never worked on it. All right, and the only thing that is required is the 5 mandatories. So we get 2 to 3 minutes for routine. I'll come on stage for 20 seconds, do the mandatories, and walk off. Yeah. Right, but once again, that goes to passion. Right, my passion, like I said, my heart wasn't in it, so I had no passion. Right, but you can see somebody like, for example, Ruff, the way that he posed, you can see he loves it. You can see he must, like I showed somebody a video recently 2 nights ago, and she was like, it looked like he do that for hours. I said, no, he does. You know what I mean? Like he loves it, you know what I mean?
I typically try to hold for 2 seconds. To me, like that's the biggest difference that I see in muscle maturity and muscle development than anything. A lot of people just push and move weight, you know, and to me that's just the wrong way to do it. You know, like I don't lift super heavy, but yeah, I look bigger than a lot of guys, right? So we're in this game because the illusion is to look bigger, right? So to me, you know, once you understand that mind-muscle connection, your entire physique will transform.
You know what I mean? Like to see that you're competing against some of the best people in the world. You know, so I definitely appreciate the opportunity to be on that stage now more than I ever have. And I think honestly, like just another area where that appreciation comes from is the confidence in my physique this year too. I think now I look at myself like I can stand with the best, so I think it just makes me want to be there more.
Back twice a week, right? So that's if I do Monday and Thursday. When I train Monday, I focus more on my front lats. So a lot of reverse grip, 4 downs, right? And then I might hit that front lats maybe 3 to 4 exercises. And then I'll do like thickness and rolls and stuff like that, maybe like 2 exercises. And then when I come back Thursday, I'll switch it to focus more on back thickness, then I do my front, right? So then I'll switch it from 4 to 2 that way.
But I always tell people I feel like the work ethic that I see with individuals in the gym can be translated in anything in life, right? So to answer your question, I feel like that work ethic gives you a higher probability of being great at anything. If you don't have that work ethic, you won't be great. Hard work beats talent every time, right? So like I said, to me, just starting at a very young age, you know what I mean? Like most people only do what their coach asks. They don't exceed it and do 10 times more, right? So like I said, like you just, like that work ethic can make you great at anything. Business, sports, anything. For example, we're human, right? So there's times that we don't want to do something. There's times that, you know, we're tired. There's times that we want to cheat, right? If you have that killer mentality, right, those individuals have restraint more than others. Something that I absolutely hate, right, is when people use genetics. I think that that is a horrible statement that people use simply because people see the final product and assume that he must have always been gifted and looked a certain way, right? So I think for like people just getting into competing, training and everything, right? You have to have many years of blasting a body part to say just, you know, based off of your genetics, you can't obtain it, right? You can't compare yourself to someone with 10 years of training and you got 6 months and think that you're supposed to look anywhere close near that person, right? So I always tell people, right, I don't care what body part it is, don't tell yourself that you can't accomplish something on a bodybuilding stage because of your genetics. One of the best examples is the guy from 212. They call him the giant killer.
Oh, Sean Clarita.
You look at his pictures before and after, you would have never thought he'd be able to create the masterpiece that he did, right? And if he had a quitting type of mentality, maybe he would have believed it too, right? But his belief was that he believed that he can create something amazing physique, and he never gave up, and you see what he presents today, right? So I always tell people, right, don't look at, you know, yourself year one, year two. Give yourself long-term goals. You know what I mean? Right? I've been training now 15 years and I'm still growing. Bro, I think anyone can turn pro. I think the only time that genetics plays a factor is on the biggest stage in the world. It's some things you can't change. The width of your shoulders, you know what I mean? How much smaller somebody's waist is than yours, right? Right? So you have to understand how to create and sculpture your physique for what the judges are looking for, right? And there's ways around that, right? You just have to know what you're doing, which I think takes time. Some people train 15, 20, 30 years and never figure it out, all right? You have to really know what you're doing or get with someone to know what they're doing, right? But I truly think that anyone can turn pro. You know, you just, you know, you have to have that work effort and that drive. And more than anything, I tell everybody, in order to be great in this sport, even for me, for example, I know I haven't seen my best yet. You have to do this 365 days a year. Like, best example is George Peterson. His coach told me George have not missed a meal in like 4 years. He eats 6 meals a day. And people are like, yo, George keep growing and George keep, bro, you guys see the final product. You guys see what, you know, you see on social media and X, Y, and Z, right? You don't see the hard work behind the scenes. You know what I mean? And diet is the hardest part. Whether it's just eating enough, right? Or whether it's just eating clean enough, right? To me, so I tell people all the time, once you make it a lifestyle, not a diet, you'll be successful.